Hey everybody, so I have been teasing making a video about this for a little while, but I've always have said that I was not going to do it until the film After We Collided had actually been officially greenlit. And now that we have an official announcement, now that we have an official green light on this thing, I think that now is the time to talk about something that's been kind of on the back of my mind for the longest time. Ever since they said that Anna Todd was going to, take back over the writing of the script for the second one, and that it was going to go back to the book, and it was going to be closer to the book. And that is Hardin's personality. Now, if you've read the books, then you know that in the books, Hardin definitely has a personality in the books. He definitely has a strong personality in the books, a very abrasive personality, a very questionable things that he does with his behavior that they tried to fix within the first movie. And the problem is, and let me go ahead and talk about an example here. 50 Shades, since this film, kind of wants to be the successor to 50 Shades and kind of be like the new 50 Shades movie, or you can pretty much compare it to 50 Shades. So 50 Shades was essentially a book series that came out back in 2012 that then got made into these, three movies, 50 Shades of Grey, 50 Shades Darker, and 50 Shades Freed from about 2015 to about 2018. And so what happened is that there's a character in those books called Christian Grey, who again, he does some things in those books that has been accused of being abusive, that a lot of people have said that it's like a very abusive relationship. So they, in the first movie, in the first 50 Shades, they fixed him. I mean, they didn't fix him, because I know like some people are going to say they didn't, but they toned him down a little bit. But the reason why 50 Shades of Grey worked as well as it did in terms of fixing that personality, because again, what happened was for 50 Shades Darker and 50 Shades Freed, E.L. James pretty much came in and said, okay, I'm going to take over more of the script writing, I'm going to take over this thing, and it's going to be more like the books. Now, the reason why it was not such a complete 180 is that 50 Shades of Grey still has some things in there that if you adapt these certain scenes into the movie, then you're already going to still have some very questionable scenes. You're still going to have some problems with the Christian Grey character. So that's why when they kind of switched back over to the books for 50 Shades Darker and 50 Shades Freed, there wasn't that big of a shock. There wasn't that big of a character, 180. Now, the problem with After is that, and this is why I argued for an extended cut. This is why I said they need to do an extended cut, why I got very excited when Jennifer Gibgot said that we were going to get an extended cut, why I got kind of excited when they put the unreleased scene at the end of the Pia Mia's Bitter Love music video, is because with an extended cut, if you put some stuff back in there, because again, even that unreleased scene that was at the end of the Pia Mia's Bitter Love music video, you already saw some fixes there. You already saw, a little bit of tease of a Tessa Zed relationship, kind of forming there. You saw a little bit of Hardin's behavior. You saw a little bit of his attitude. You saw something, a little bit closer to the books. That I thought that maybe an extended cut could include more stuff like that. That way, so the second film will not feel like such a 180 or a 360 and a complete whiplash, because that really is my concern. Because in the first movie, they made Hardin too soft. They went completely overboard in censoring his personality. And again, that was one of the issues that Josephine Langford, Hero Finds Tiffin, and Anna Todd had. And I will always quote this article that came out back when that I kind of did a whole video about this whole article talking about how the film came to be made. And the one line that will always stick with me no matter what is that they started talking about Hardin's personality. And the one line pretty much said that, Josephine or Joe, did not like it, or did not agree with it. Hero did not agree with it. Anna Todd did not agree with it, but they were all overruled by Jenny Gage. And so now the issue really does become, I mean, so now when you have the first movie where they go way too far in the opposite direction, and now you pretty much run the risk of the second film not even looking like the first film, where it does not even make sense in terms of the film series continuity, where say like in the first one, they went way too far in the opposite direction, and then in the second one, all of a sudden he's the Hardin from the books. Because that's where I'm really concerned here. Because again, as a fan, I'm excited for this. I want to see them go back to the book. But you know what? At the end of the day, they should have been with the books from day one. If Jenny Gage could not have gotten on board, because it seems like once Jenny Gage got brought on, that was where all the issues seemed to start with all this. That they originally had a script writer, I can't remember her name, but they originally had a script writer and a script for the first film that was, while they did fix some things, because even Anna Todd agreed that there are some things in the book that, needs to be fixed, that, even she, regrets having, written that in the books. I mean, she said that in a couple of interviews, talking about the bet scene in particular, saying that, oh, she wishes that some aspects of that, she never, she regrets that. But yeah, once Jenny Gage got brought on, that's when that script, sort of got thrown out of the thing. She brought on her own script writer, and then, we end up getting the film that we get, which is a complete, even though there are scenes in there that, do resemble the books, the personalities do not fit the books, especially Hardin's. And I think that becomes the question. Can After We Collided, can the film adaptation of After We Collided, can it go back to the books without feeling like a complete, character, 360? I mean, if all of a sudden they open up After We Collided, the film, and all of a sudden, oh, he's back to being the Hardin from the books. And so I think that a lot of audience members, myself included, even though we are happy with this, even though we're happy with him being back to like he is in the books, there is that feeling of like, oh, like this doesn't even work, like this doesn't even make any, sense from a film standpoint. I mean, it doesn't make sense from a character standpoint. And I think that that's the problem that I sort of had with the first movie, is that way too far in the opposite direction that they took his personality, because it got to the point that I imagine that if you're watching this video, you have seen the film or the books. So I'm gonna go ahead and think that that's what that whoever's watching knows the books, knows the film. Okay, so in the film, when we kind of get to the big bet reveal at the end, which they completely botched, by the way, they changed it to him daring himself, which that's actually one of the things that I never really understood, that because again, the scene was also kind of playing like it does in the book, and Tessa, Josephine Langford, who's given an amazing performance, by the way. I'm never going to attack the actors here. I'll always attack the script, I'll always attack the director, but I'll never attack these actors. That Josephine Langford, Tessa is like crying and looking at everybody, and looking at everybody for help, looking at them, what the hell, oh, you all knew about this. And I'm surprised that it got to the point that I actually just sat there going like, okay, how is nobody looking at her and saying, he dared himself, stop blaming us, he dared himself to do this. Like, nobody dared him to do this, nobody, twisted his arm to do this, like not one of us dared him to do any of this. This boy dared himself. But the problem is that they fixed his personality, or they changed him to such an extreme degree that it never made sense from a character standpoint that the character would ever do what he did. And so all of a sudden, whereas in the book, because of his behavior, because of his personality, you do believe that he would actually do something as atrocious as the bet, as atrocious as he does in the book. You actually believe that, and it's a very heart-wrenching scene. Doing the read-throughs, I have blown my voice twice doing the bet scene, bringing that to you guys to read through the bet scene. I have blown my voice twice, because again, it is a very heart-wrenching moment. It is a very, emotional moment. But see, in the book, it was actually believable that this character would actually, do this. It was actually believable that this person would actually be that cruel, that callous, that however you want to call him. Like it is believable in the books. But in the movie, they switched his personality to such a degree that I never once bought that moment. I never once bought that the big reveal moment that this person would ever actually do what he did. And I almost shrugged it off as, oh, he's drunk. Like, oh, he did it because he was drinking. Like, oh, he did it because, he was, drinking maybe a little bit too much. That it was more like the alcohol that did it versus, him actually, doing it sober. But again, I know he wasn't drunk in that scene. But that's how it felt to me. And again, that's what I keep coming back to, is that I think that they did way too much to change the personality in the first one. That's what scares me about the sequel, even though I am very happy, that we are getting a sequel that is closer to the books. I am, happy that this thing's going to be rated R. I am happy that they're going to be fixing, the personality. I am happy with all these decisions, but again, like the film side of me, the critic side of me is just like, this is not going to make any sense. Like, this is that they have to walk a very tight rope because of some complete bullshit decisions and some, shooting themselves in the foot decisions that were made with the first movie. And that's just like where I am. And that's like where I am a little bit concerned with the sequel. Like, oh God, like how is this going to work? Because again, I love Hero Finds Tiffin as an actor. I love Josephine Langford. I love these people. Like, I know they can do this. Given the right material, I know that Hero Finds Tiffin could knock Hardin Scott out of the park. But again, it does kind of come back to, oh, is this going to be a complete, like way too much of a whiplash to ever actually make any sense? Jump down to the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think about any of this. As always, thank you so much for watching these videos. Remember, just to go through a few quick channel things, if you are liking the read-throughs that I've been doing, I'm going to be going through the entire series, so keep looking forward to that. Those are daily uploads. Now that we have the official green light, I will continue to bring you guys up-to-date information on that, so keep looking forward to that. Every other day I might be posting, like a video like this, like some thoughts on the film, or like, like different topics that might come up in the fandom. So keep looking forward to these. And remember, I'll see you later, After Naders. Take care, y'all.